If you guys know this movie, Finding Nemo, how many people saw Finding Nemo? Okay? Okay, how many people saw Finding Nemo? Good, good. Everybody's like, me? We're not in grade school anymore, okay? I see your hand, don't worry. I got it. This used to be my favorite movie until this week. Because Nathan, our son, is moving on from Thomas and Friends to Finding Nemo. And I saw this movie at least 3 times. I own 2 copies of it. I need to get it on Blu-ray, definitely. That's on my Amazon list, so if anyone wants to give me it, go for it. But this week, I saw it at least 14 times. Because every time he wakes up, every time it's fish. I want to see fish. And he brings Finding Nemo DVD, and I hate that DVD. I'm telling you, I hate the artwork. When I see this, I get repulsed by it. And the part of the DVD that keeps playing, because you know how the disc, when you play it, it starts where you left off? And most of the time, his attention span is not that great, but it's right left off when, Marlin finds Nemo. He goes to Sydney, Australia, right? And then they arrive, and then you see all these seagulls. You remember those seagulls? They're all gathered around. They're going to eat dory. And what do they say? Mine. Right? They keep saying mine. Well, what did they? And when I was watching this, sometimes movies hit you in places much deeper than you think. And I think that's a great picture of what our culture thinks will bring meaningful happiness into someone's life. Mine, get mine. Right? Fulfill my purpose. Progress, advance. If I get what I want and be who I want to be, then I'm going to be happy. Right? I'm going to be happy. But the truth is, I don't know about you, but the more I try to get happy, let me phrase this carefully. It's not that I go to happy hour, but happy hour does bring happiness to some extent. People go to happy hour to get what? Blasted. Why? Because they want to be happy. They want to have fun. But a lot of times, too much of happy hour when you wake up the next morning will bring what? A lot of pain. Like headache. Who said that? I know you do it now. I'll talk to you after. I'm kidding. We're assuming that everybody does and beginning to understand this. So people, you try to make, you think, you're going to get that job. That's going to make you happy. Or you're going to get the girl of your dreams. That's going to make you happy for the first 2 months. And then misery. Love is being miserable. Love is being miserable with the one you love. It's not being happy. You're only happy for 2 minutes a day, but you're happy to be with them. So you think a lot of times that getting mine is going to bring happiness, but the truth is, our world, no matter how much you want to be self-absorbed in your life, is never going to fulfill your purpose. And so ironically, the best-selling book in the planet, as of right now, is written by a pastor. How many people have heard of this book? Purpose-Driven Life. Amen. Amen. No. Reach your brother. He just came to Christ recently. He knows the language. Amen. So, Purpose-Driven Life is sort of over-saturated the market. I mean, Zondervan, which is owned by News Corp, right, who owns MySpace, released this book. Guess how many books have been sold so far? 30 million copies. Almost 40. It's the best-selling book in history, all of history. And it's written by who? A pastor. I should write Purpose-Driven too, right? I mean, that might be good. I mean, it's almost 400 million and 40 million copies, and it's about almost $1 billion in sales. And the book It's really simple. And you know what? It's offensive. You know what the book says on the very beginning line? And if you ever get Starbucks coffee, Rick Warren is quoted saying, this one sentence. It's not about you. How many people like it when life is about them? Come on, be honest. Yeah, I like it when it's about me. My advancement, my wealth, my success. And that's going to get me happy. Rick Warren said, no, it doesn't get you happy. It says that purpose starts with God. Purpose, happiness, starts with God. He goes, how can you even know what happiness is unless you start with the person that created it? He has the manual. He made you. And the question is, what am I here on earth for? And the funny thing is, the book title is Purpose-Driven Life, meaning so many people, and you're like, well, you know, Christianity or God is for poor people. It's for stupid people. It's for people without a life. Are those people on Fridays that don't get invited to the parties and have to stay home and go to Blockbuster? You know, I mean, Christianity is for people that are just losers. But the problem is, purpose-driven life is, you know, was in all type of executive suites in Goldman Sachs, all parts of NFL, all parts of NBA. I mean, at one moment, purpose-driven life was even at the White House, and you're like, well, that's not saying much. I'm saying the influence of it, and everybody searching for purpose, even people that seemed successful, asked the question after they achieved what they wanted, is this what I'm on earth for? Is this it? And you had 40 million people searching for purpose, even though they might have been successful. Why is that? Well, successful doesn't mean happiness. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Mark chapter 8, watch this. We'll go back into this. And Jesus says, in verse 34, Mark 8, he says, then he called the crowd to him along with his what? Disciples, and said, if anyone would come after me, he must what? Okay, one, we don't like denial of self. And take up you ever saw any type of cross? I mean, that's heavy. First, deny yourself. Then, take up your cross. I mean, this is not a really good marketing campaign. Jesus should take some lessons from Joel Osteen. Get your best life now. 7 steps. It's very different, isn't it? I mean, Jesus says, if anyone wants to follow after me. I mean, if Jesus could have chose any marketing scheme, this in business would tell you that this is a stupid thing to say. If you want to follow after me, deny yourself. Forget, don't make it about you. Second, carry heavy, equipment. And then follow me. So it's not just deny of self or carry heavy equipment. I want you to deny yourself, carry heavy equipment, then follow where I'm going. And then my question is, well, isn't that really hard? That's what Jesus says. And look what then Jesus says. What good is it for a man to gain the whole what? World, yet forfeit his? And so, in Greek word means the very breath of life. The reason you exist. Right? You can live doesn't mean you have a reason or meaningful purpose to your life. Jesus says, if you want to find the purpose and happiness or the reason for your life, then follow me. Deny yourself. Carry heavy objects. In the process of all those things, I want you to follow me in my direction, which is usually painful. And then you and I ask this question, and all the people, when Jesus said to them, and the disciples there, all the crowd are staring blanks, like a deer caught in a headlight. What? I know what it means. I know what it means to live a life to make it all about yourself. And you think, I'm going to be happy if I fulfill my purpose. And everybody right now, if I ask you a question, what are the plans and dreams you have for your life, the ambitions you have for your life? And everybody in this room has a thing or it. If you think you achieve it or get it, your life will be happy. might be marrying rich, marrying up. It might be corporate the corporate ladder. Stop talking to me. And whatever it might be in your mind, you think that's going to bring you happiness. But the truth is, let me tell you personally, the lesson I learned about not living for yourself and actually how relieving it is when it's not about you. Because let me tell you, first, I remember when I went to graduate school, took a communication course, and I was giving a speech, a sermon on, stuff. And after I did an amazing job, of course, made everybody laugh. People were in awe. They were capturing every word I was saying, and I was feeling really good about myself. And I'm like, man, I'm really good in my head. And the professor came and said to me, Sam, you're quite a good communicator. And I sat there and I said, I know. I'm really good. And then he said, but sometimes I wonder why you do what you do. I'm like, what do you mean? Because I'm good at it. In my mind, I mean, of course, you don't say that, you get deducted from your grade, and I said, But I said in my mind, of course I do it, I'm good at it. And he said, what? And he said, the next thing he said was something that's struck me in my life for a little bit, that sort of changed my life. He goes, what is this? Is this the Sam Kim show? And I said, how do you respond to the Sam Kim show? He said, everything you do is about you. And I said to him, well, isn't that why you speak? Everybody looks at you. Everybody listens to you. It's all about you. And then he said, if you make it about you, you're never, ever going to understand why you speak to people. And you know what? That day I just said, that professor is a moron. But then as I start to understand the emptiness of success, I remember coming back from a very large church one time, and I was coming back, and it went well and everything, and I come back from the airport, and those people that called me said, hey, if you take this engagement, your name's going to get out there. It's a great media campaign for you, and you'll be invited to speak everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. And after I was coming back, there was a sense of emptiness. But I thought, that's what I always wanted in my head. Hey, if I get invited to when you're a pastor, we have ambitions. We're human. Feel me? And I said, if I get invited to not the top 100 largest church in America, but 1 to 50, I'll be happy. I made it. And I was. And when I was coming back, there was a sense of, is that it? Is this it? And the next time I was invited, I got up on stage, and I felt something I didn't feel for like 10 years. You know what that was? I felt nervous. How many people ever feel nervous before? Like, not me, no. I'm cool. I felt nervous. You know why? Because the more you succeed and the more you excel, the expectation on you gets what? Greater. I mean, an actor does a real good job in one movie, and the next movie people go, man, that movie sucks. And the expectations get heavier. You get a 3.7, next time 4.0. You get a job at here, and you got to climb more, and it just gets heavier and heavier, and then you're in the process. You think it's going to make you happy, and you're in the rat race now, and you're just like, why the hell am I doing this? You're not even thinking anymore. You're just doing. And I'll tell you why. The question is, what is the key secret of finding a purpose that's joyful in your life? What is it? Well, first, this is what Jesus teaches us. This is the first lesson. What is it? Read it for me. Come on, I want you to tell somebody, it's not about you. People are like, what do you mean? It is about me. Let me tell you why Jesus is saying he's trying to alleviate all of us of the pressure of glory. Let me tell you, you and I were not meant for glory. If you're really honest, you're usually dumb except in academics. Your life is stupid. You make stupid decisions. Why? Because you're dumb. Human beings are dumb. You're not supposed to lead your own life. You can't. You're not able to. If you're really honest, you're stupid. You know nothing. I mean, we can pretend like we're sophisticated. I go to the opera, I go to the game, I got stocks, I got stock options. But all those people that had stock options are broke now. Don't even have a job. You can look like you're making it, but the truth is, God, Jesus is saying, you're never meant to lead your own life. I have a life for you. Amen? I'm like, oh, thank God, because I come out here and I act like I'm talking about, but when I'm at home, I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on? And God goes, yes, he goes, you're never meant for glory. You know what we were meant for? We were meant for joy, not glory. You can't have both. When you live for glory, you sacrifice joy. You start losing your hair, you become uglier, you become, less happier. Why? Because you're not meant to be God. And that's really what at the heart of humanity is. And Eve was the temptation to be God, to replace God. Well, let me just tell you, everybody in this room, you're dumb compared to God. Let's keep it that way. It's like, so the secret ingredient in discovering a meaningful purpose is to know the relief. Oh, it's not about me. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Amen, right? So then how do you discover your purpose? Well, if you know it's not about you. Second, this is what Jesus says. He gives us this very arrogant statement. And I guess Jesus can be arrogant because he's perfect. Look what he says. And I call this the radical offense. Jesus says, for whoever wants to save his will, but whoever loses his life will save it. I read this and I go, how arrogant of you, Jesus. Are you telling me that the sole purpose and significance of my happiness is found in you? I mean, what if I said that to you? Right, Amen? Your sole purpose and happiness is found in me. I mean, really, and anyone that says that a deist type of statement must be really arrogant, or he has to be God. I guess Jesus neutralizes that because he is. But Jesus says something very contradictory to what we want in our life. Jesus says, your happiness is found not in finding glory for you, but living for glory for me. And you go, why? Because in John 15, Jesus says this to his disciples, and I want to say that to you. Jesus says, it is for my joy and for your joy, I'm telling you this, that it is for my Father's glory. It's for my glory that you bear much fruit. I'm telling you this so that your joy may be complete. What does that mean? What is Jesus saying? Real simple. What Jesus is saying is this illustration, okay? Every week, I have a world cosmic type of decision to make after Manhattan service. And one in our Staten Island site. And I'm telling you, it's really stressful on me. Like, one of the reasons I found one white hair is because of this question. And the question they ask me every week, and I don't know why. I'm not God. I don't know everything. They ask me, Pastor Sam, what do you want to eat? When my wife asks me that, I hate her for a minute. I'm serious. She calls me, she goes, what do you want to eat? I'm like, how the hell do I know? There's 50 million options. That's a curse, right? There's 50 million things to eat. How am I supposed to know? And every week, there are people counting on me to pick Wendy's, McDonald's, Subway, Chili. And it is so stressful. And you're like, come on, chill out. It's only food. Think about it. If it's just with food, that's just food. With every part of life, imagine someone asking you, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, leave me alone. Please, leave me alone. And what Jesus is saying is, you can come to me. You can come to me with your questions, with your confusions, with your struggles. Me. Because I am the one, the only one, that can help you fulfill your purpose. And so what happens is, he says, I'll take the glory, and you can take the joy. You see the partnership there? Say amen if you get that. So I get the joy by saying, Jesus, hey, what should I eat? And Jesus goes, hey, you didn't eat McDonald's for a while, but you need to lose some weight, so let's go to Subway. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus gets the glory by leading my life, and I get the joy by following the direction of his purpose, because he's the reason I'm on earth. Jesus says that's the key to discovering a meaningful existence, is to follow the direction of God's purpose for your life, not be your own boss. And a lot of times why we're so stressed and why we're so miserable is because we want the glory and we sacrifice the joy and get it. CEOs, executives, all business people, they sacrifice their joy to get the glory. Is it really worth it? No, you're not meant for that. So what is the key to discovering a meaningful existence? Second, Jesus says what? He gives us this lesson. What is it? It starts what? A meaningful existence, a joyful life starts with God. Well, of course it does. He made it. Duh. So let me just tell you right now, I'm going to tell you a real smart thing, real profound. Why you're miserable is because you start with yourself and not with God. Everything in your life right now built upon your own ambitions, own plans, own leading. It's going to make you miserable. Reverse, come back to where God is, and start with God. If you start and end with God, let me tell you, you're going to have a meaningful existence. You're going to have purpose. You're going to be happy. You're going to have a smile. Okay? You're going to be someone that's not stressed out because you're giving God the glory and you're getting the joy. Let's all stand and pray together and ask for that.